The Sorites Paradox is one of philosophy's most enduring and deceptively simple thought experiments. Its name comes from the Greek word Sorites, meaning heap, and it is often framed in a straightforward question. If you have a heap of sand and remove one grain, you still have a heap. If you keep removing one grain at a time, at what exact point does it stop being a heap? This puzzle was first recorded by Eubules of Miletus, a 4th century BCE philosopher known for posing paradoxes that expose the limits of human reasoning. The paradox works by exploiting the vagueness in certain everyday terms, words like heap, tall, bald, or rich that don't have sharp boundaries. The reasoning goes like this. 1. One grain of sand is not a heap. 2. Adding one grain to something that isn't a heap doesn't suddenly make it a heap. 3. If you accept this logic, then even a million grains wouldn't form a heap. Yet that conclusion feels obviously wrong. Alternatively, you can reverse the thought experiment. Start with a large heap and remove one grain at a time. If removing a single grain never turns a heap into a non-heap, then you could keep going until you're left with a single grain and still call it a heap, which also feels absurd. The Sorites Paradox exposes a major challenge in philosophy and logic: how to deal with vague predicates. Unlike precise mathematical definitions, many concepts in language are inherently fuzzy. There's no clear number of grains at which a heap becomes or stops being a heap. Modern philosophers and logicians have approached the problem in several ways. Some propose fuzzy logic, which allows truth to exist on a spectrum rather than as an absolute yes I know. Others suggest that while vague terms can't be defined with perfect precision, they still function effectively in ordinary conversation because humans rely on context and shared understanding. The paradox is more than just a curiosity about sand. It applies to real-world issues. Law, ethics, and science often grapple with boundaries that can't be precisely defined. When does a fetus become a person? How much income makes someone rich? At what point is a person old? The Sorites Paradox reminds us that these boundaries are often human constructions, not fixed points in nature. In the end, the paradox challenges us to rethink how we use language and how we draw lines between categories. It doesn't offer a final answer, but it makes one thing clear: the boundaries of meaning are often as shifting and uncertain as the grains of sand in a heap.